festival to enjoy it. I have had a couple of my friends perform who are classical dancers, and I've come just to experience it. And it's this. I'm very very happy. I shot I shot a little bit of Aisha also at this festival, and so I have a long association with it. And I'm a Mumbai girl, sorry, and this is something that is makes me very very proud. So this festival makes me very proud.
Does your dad know you're on a date today with someone?
He knows you're here, so he's okay with me being on a date, and my dad is quite open-minded about things like this.
Um, isn't she looking absolutely gorgeous?
Oh no, guys.
Yeah, louder.
Stop, please.
So her new movie is coming up. Sonam, your new movie,
Yes.
Neerja.
Yes,
It's
Neerja.
yeah. So tell me, Sonam,
Yes.
you've always been very selective about the movies you pick.
Yes.
You picked every kind of movie, and yet they were so
Every time.
different.
Yes. um, I believe when you, for me, when I select films or what I do, it's so that I don't get bored. I can't do the same thing over and over again, and I do very little work. So I do one or two films because I think it's important to hone your craft. And if you do too much, and if you do the same thing over and over again, you become stagnated. So when I choose my films, I choose them very consciously, and I choose different genres so I can hone my craft. And to be an actor, you need a lot of life experience. To be any kind of actor or an artist, you need to have a lot of life experience. And if I'm going to be only on a film set, what am I going to draw from? So I need that space in between to experience life, and I need to love my job, not resent it. So I need to do different things. Now Neerja came into my life 2 years ago, and there was I heard this story, and I was like, oh my God, this cannot be real. This girl cannot be real. She is the youngest recipient of the Ashok Chakra, and I was like, why haven't I heard of her? Why hasn't anybody heard of her? She is a strong, capable girl who was barely 23. She was going to turn 23 2 days after she passed away. She was 22 when she did these amazing things, and I was like, why hasn't anybody heard of her? And I was like, we need to tell this story, and I decided that I had to do this, and I had to give 300% because it's a story of an unsung hero, and the principles that she stood for was something that was incredible. And I felt as a young person, once you grow older and once life gets you, you kind of lose that sense of idealism and the sense of standing up for what's right and the sense of right and wrong, and you start operating in the gray area. And I felt like that people needed reminding, like I need reminding of that all the time. So I was excited to do this film because it stood for something.
Someone so young and so wise. People do forget the ideals that they started out with, but Sonam has not forgotten those. As you know, Neerja Bhanot was an air hostess and who saved many lives. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Well, she was, this was in 1986 that this happened. It was a Pan Am flight, Pan Am 73. She saved almost 359 lives. She was the head purser on the flight. She did 5 things on that flight. She gave the hijack code, so the flight was grounded. She was the head purser, and she became the captain of the ship because that was protocol that the pilots had to leave. Number 3, she made sure that she realized that Americans were being targeted, and so she made sure with other flight attendants that the American passports were hidden, and she made sure that no Americans got killed. She realized that was happening. Number 4, she opened the emergency exit, and she could have been the first one out, but she made sure that everybody was out of the flight before she could leave. And number 5, she realized there were UNMs, unaccompanied minors, on the flight, and she heard one of them crying out. And she went to get them, and she realized a terrorist was coming, shooting bullets. She body shielded those children. That was her Ashok Chakra moment. And she body shielded those children and saved their lives, and unfortunately perished while doing that. She was the last one off the flight, and before she got off the flight, she passed away. She was 22, and her presence of mind saved those lives of all those people on flight. And she was an ordinary girl from Mumbai who went to Bombay Scottish and then to St. Xavier's. And she was like you and me. She was like any of us.
Every day.
And I was like, she wasn't Sunny Deol from Ghayal for sure. Or she wasn't Spider-Man or Batman or Superman, and she didn't have superpowers. She was just an ordinary girl, and she operated with fear. And that's what I did. I was afraid when I played that character, because true bravery is when you face your fears and you still act. And that's how I played her, through fear.
Louder, guys.
And I face my fear every day, and that's why I said she inspired me to face my fear. I fear a lot of things. And I did this whole dub smash campaign for Prem Ratan Dhan Payo, and it became really, everybody's like doing the thumkas, which was really fun. And and I get the marketing team coming to me and saying, we need to do another campaign, And I was like, but can I do the campaign my way this time, where we can inspire people, because this film is inspirational and I don't want to sell this film. So they were like, what do you want to do? I was like, she made me learn how to face my fear. And we face our fears every day. And it can be a positive fear or a negative fear. I look at it as positive or negative. A fear can make you stronger, or a fear can, make you handicapped. And you need to, it can make you work harder, or, be stronger. So I was like, if you acknowledge your fear, if you face it, it could be anything. Like my grandmother used to get scared to go up an escalator. I remember very clearly, and she used to be like, oh, okay, because, they were not used to escalators. Escalators are those machines that go up and down, and I remember just holding her hand, and she faced it, and she got onto that escalator. And for me, that was the most amazing thing, that, she got onto that escalator. I know it's a very silly thing, but her winning, she was facing her fear. It sounds really silly, but that's my grandmom. And so, you face your fears every day, and I've had the whole industry supporting me on it, and I've got some beautiful, honest, heartfelt messages, and I feel it'll encourage young people to come out with their fears. I've had some amazing, there's a girl who was in an abaya, and she said, I'm so sorry, but I can't show my face, but I need to tell you, my biggest fear is my father won't pay for my education, and I really want to get educated. Or there's another girl who, there was somebody else who put up her fear, or her fear, saying that my fear is coming out to the world. She didn't show her face. And there are lots of people who have been putting out their fears, and the most common thread among young people is they're afraid of being themselves in this world. And that was one of the most common things that I got. And I have all these amazing celebrities, people who a lot of people look up to, facing their fears, and it gives other people courage. It gives other people courage to face their fears. So I'm very happy and proud of this campaign, and I request all of you all to put out your fears and speak about them, because once you acknowledge it and once you look at it, there's this beautiful song that has been composed by Vishal, who is a music composer for Nirja, and written by Prasoon Joshi, where we talk about Aankhein Milayenge Dar Se. And if you all can do that and acknowledge your fear, it'll inspire other people to do it. So please do it. Please, 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 please do it. Put it out there, talk about it, be public about your fear.
Beautifully said again.
Thank you.
And also, have you ever been in a conflicting situation yourself where you had to face your fear?
I'm facing my fear every day. I'm a very scared little girl. It doesn't seem like it, but I am. It's been very difficult for me to talk about it, but I did put it up on social media. My biggest fear is letting my father down. Okay, there's a beautiful saying in our Indian, there's a beautiful saying where they say, not much grows under a banyan tree. Okay, and my father is this gorgeous, beautiful, big banyan tree. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to grow? How am I going to come in on, how am I going to become a personality on my own? I hope I don't let him down. I hope I don't let my family down. And that has been my fear every day, and every day I'm reminded of it. The media asks me, people tell me every day when I go and I act, and they're like, oh, that's Anil Kapoor's daughter, she's coming onto the set. Will she be able to do it? And every day I face it, and every day I tremble before I go on the floor. Is when you're acting, and then and I faced it every day. And then one day, a very dear friend of mine, Dhanush, who I did Ranjana with, said, and I said this, Dhanush, how am I supposed to grow? Like, not much goes under a banyan tree. And he was like, Sonam, a shadow can grow under a banyan tree if you shine brightly enough. And I said, wow, okay, so I need to shine really bright. I need to work really hard. I need to form my own identity. I need to have an opinion. I need to make choices every day that are different and that are scary. And I have to make sure I have an identity of my own. And that is how I face my fear. And I acknowledged it to the public, to all my social media followers, a few days back. But that is the fear that I live with every day. And every day I face it. And I hope to God I've made my parents proud.
You have made everyone proud, and baby banyan tree in the making. I thought your biggest fear would be eating the wrong food and getting fat. Yeah.
I love food. If you go onto my Twitter handle, you'll see a girl who loves to read and eat, an actor who loves to eat and read in that order. I love eating and I love reading.
Have you tried the stalls here?
I've asked them to get me some food. I really want to. Yeah. I'm trying to be vegetarian. I think it's a more compassionate choice, even though I love meat. So I'm really trying very hard to be vegetarian right now. But every time I'm like faced with such good food, I'm like, no, be compassionate, Sonam Kapoor, be vegetarian. And
but how do you manage to stay in such perfect shape?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I work very, very hard. It's a constant battle every day. I love eating. But honestly, I remember I had done a beautiful show with Kunal. He's this amazing, funny host. And it was a show about food. And I said, I don't eat much. I'm constantly on a diet, but I will try very hard. He said, but you're a Bombay girl, Bombay food and all. I said, I don't eat much. I need to be slim. And I've gone to the show and I've eaten everything. He's like, you're the first actress I've met who says she doesn't eat and is slim, but you eat everything and you're still slim. I was like, no, I swear I don't eat. But I love eating and I love Indian street food.
Yeah, and khate pite ghar ki Punjabi ladki hai. So I've been to her house. It has the best food over there, but everything is very healthy.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No. I have one of my best friends is Swara Bhaskar. And she's always like, अच्छा मैं आ रही हूँ, घी के पराठे बना देना. So I said, ठीक है, because she's from Delhi and now she lives here. So recently she came and there was mirchi ke parathe and ghee ke parathe and I was just staring at it. There was water coming out of my mouth. And I was like, the life of an actor, she just had jaundice. So she's lost all her weight. So I was like, I know it's really horrible, but I was like, oh God, so lucky.
That's a mean person inside, right? Yeah, what's your comfort food?
Pav Bhaji.
You want some?
I love pav bhaji. If you read any of my interviews, I'm like my sister says, you're a fake Japanese food eater. Because if you had to choose between sushi and sashimi and pav bhaji, you would choose pav bhaji. I was like, fully right, but I still like my Japanese food. So I try to be all fancy and all, but inside I'm quite like desi. I like to eat pav bhaji. I like Indian street food, chaat. My mouth is watering.
And the one food
I'm so hungry.
One food you associate with Mumbai city?
One food, vada pav. Am I gross? I'm gross. Vada pav and anything like a lot of seafood. So, gajali and all these like restaurants where you get, crab. And I'm trying to be vegetarian. Look at what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Mock meat.
No. Mock meat is not good for you guys. Nothing processed is good, okay? Organic, healthy, vegetarian. Please, I'm trying to do this. Do this for yourself as well.